everyone. Welcome to Brew Jackets. It's a fun Blue Jackets themed podcast. My name is Kevin, and joining me tonight is my co-host, Hefty Duck. And as always, we invite other people to come on the show. Or if they do or don't, that's okay. There is always next time. On today's show, this is what we're going to talk about. There's some stuff going on in the Blue Jackets world. We have Ivan Provorov signing a 7-year deal with the Blue Jackets. We're going to talk about that. We have Dmitry Voronkov signing a 2-year deal with the Blue Jackets. The Blue Jackets get Isaac Lundestrom. He signs a 2-year deal with the Blue Jackets. We got some Caden Lindstrom news for Blue Jackets prospect Caden Lindstrom. There was development camp recently. We're going to talk about that. And Ohio State did something that I like. And so to keep watching the show because we got a lot of stuff going on to talk about. So let's get going. Welcome to the show, everyone.
Hell yeah. Welcome in. Yeah. I literally say this every single episode, but it's crazy how much we had to talk about in the middle of the off season. But first, don't forget to like and subscribe to all of our things, wherever you're watching that from. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you're watching from Twitter, go over there and check it out. Give us a like. We appreciate that. Big shout out to our audio listeners. As always, you guys have been pretty awesome so far this year. Can't wait to see how things go once we're in the middle of the season yet too. You guys have been great. Anyway, lot to talk about today. We can kind of just start from the top if you want. So
I'm gonna
for
switch
the 20.
I'm gonna go with the Caden Lindstrom first stuff because sometimes the audio on my computer craps out, then I can't really play videos.
No, that's fair. That's cool. We can go with that.
All right. So Blue Jackets prospect Caden Lindstrom. We've talked about him a lot. We've shown the clips that where in games he's played, he scored some big goals. He looks good. Top 6 center, first line, second line center potential for the Blue Jackets. One of the best prospects that the Blue Jackets have. And we've talked about this a lot on our show, that there are a couple Big Ten schools that were trying to get Caden Lindstrom to play for their respective schools. And it ended up being Michigan and Michigan State. So there you go. So why? I have a clip from the Blue Jackets to show why did he pick Michigan State and why was it Michigan and Michigan State. So we're going to get to that clip. So this is Blue Jackets prospect Caden Lindstrom saying why did he pick Michigan State. So here we go. Let's see here. Is it up on? Oh, okay. It's up on the screen. All right. Here we go.
Talk in the rooms, just they're all business, So.
Let's see. Let's back this up here. Oh, don't do this to me.
Being around older really helped mature me as a person and as a player as well. Just seeing how they take care of their bodies and even the way they talk in the rooms, just they're all business, So I took so much from the team and from the older guys, and I asked lots of questions and stuff like that, and just learned a lot in general. So.
Kind of going back to the conversation about college, going to Michigan State, what was that recruitment process like for you? Like, what ultimately led you to committing there?
Yeah, so I kind of heard the rumors that the rule might get changed, but I think I didn't know. Obviously, you hear those rumors all the time. So I obviously was talking to my agent and stuff, and he said he wasn't really sure either. So we were looking into it, and we're looking into it a bit, but we weren't sure it was going to happen because it was mid-season or whatever it was, and then it did happen, and then that's when I kind of started talking to schools, and I was close to Michigan, so I was like, why not go visit both Michigans? And so that's what I did. I went and visited both Michigans, and kind of I was 50-50, so I didn't really know where I wanted to go. Took the visits, and I was pretty certain that I wanted to play Michigan State. So I just love the facility there and the coaches and just everyone there. I think it was just the place I wanted to play for next season. So
Yeah, does the decision of obviously Isaac Howard's coming back,
So that is Blue Jackets prospect Caden Lindstrom saying why he picked Michigan State. Essentially, is he was at 2 Michigan schools, Michigan and Michigan State. And ultimately, he picked Michigan State because he liked the facilities, he liked the coaches, how things were ran, and that's why he picked it. And it makes sense. Historically, when you look at schools like a Michigan or a Michigan State or a Minnesota or Wisconsin or Boston College or whatnot, they have better facilities. They're historically better at hockey. They have a better track record of developing talent into the NHL. So that's why I thought that was interesting and I wanted to share that. But also, I'm just sharing my opinion here. You know, Aaron Portzline has reported in multiple articles that Ohio State was one of those Big Ten schools trying to get Caden Lindstrom. Well, in my opinion, I think that was proven to be wrong because Caden Lindstrom, just as I played in the video just right there, he said it was 2 schools that he was looking at, Michigan and Michigan State. So, you know, gotta have to call out Aaron Portzline there. In my opinion, I think he was wrong there, in my opinion. And
cool, he won't know he has us blocked.
Well, yeah, that's true. But and I'm also of the belief that, in my opinion, I think he was including Ohio State to get clicks for his article because he knows that, generally speaking, this isn't always the case, but generally speaking, if you like the Blue Jackets, you probably like Ohio State. That's objectively true. Generally speaking, if you like the Blue Jackets, you probably like Ohio State. And so because of that, if you put Ohio State into an article, you're going to get more attention because of that. And in my opinion, I think that's what he was trying to do.
We all might do that sometimes.
And you know, I get it. You got, people do it. It is what it is. But at the same time, I think you got to be more like, again, we're big Ohio State people here, but you got to be realistic here is that historically Ohio State's just not the greatest when it comes to hockey, and they don't attract the top talent, and the top guys aren't going there. You don't see a Adam Fantilli or a Dylan Larkin or a Kyle Connor or a Zach Werenski or a Kent Johnson, Adam Fantilli. You don't see a Johnny Gaudreau type coming out of Ohio State, but you do see it at other schools. And I wish that wasn't the case. I wish that was different, but it is the truth. And if you're putting in an article, we might look at Ohio State, you're just not being honest with yourself. You're just trying to get attention for your article, when in reality, you should have been like, be more realistic. What schools is he actually looking at that actually have a shot at getting him? Because it's not Ohio State at this point. I hope one day that changes, but it's not that. If a guy like a Caden Lindstrom, he's going to go to a school like a Michigan or a Michigan State or a Minnesota, Boston College, North Dakota, something like that. That's what a guy like Caden Lindstrom is going to. So ultimately, I saw that video and I thought that was pretty interesting that why did Caden Lindstrom pick Michigan State? We now know he liked the school, better facilities, he liked the coaches, and there And another thing, he didn't say this in this video, but he said, in an article from the Columbus media, that basically he liked how Michigan State ran their practices like an NHL team. So again, that, schools that are historically good at hockey, they do that. They run it's a college, but they run it like it's an NHL team, and that prepares you for the next level. So I just thought I'd throw this out there. Hefty Duck, do you got anything to say about any of this?
Not a whole ton, but I'm excited to see this guy, at camp, because last year he was injured, and so it was good seeing that he was not only able to participate in the in a couple of games last season in the WHL, but now he is in the development camp. I mean, to me, he's saying a lot of the right things. He seems smart. He seems very skilled. And the one article I read by Ed Francis from First Ohio Battery, he mentioned that he didn't score any goals in the final game, that the little in-house cup thing going on, but that he did participate and did well.
Yeah.
So that's about all for me.
All right, then. So we're now going to move on to Ivan Provorov signing a 7-year deal with the Blue Jackets.
Right. So, yeah. Let me back up real quick, because this is where I was about to go with the first thing.
Yeah.
So the Blue Jackets avoid arbitration once again with all their RFAs that they sent qualifying offers out to. So they've never, in 25 years, have never had a single case go to arbitration. That is insane to me, because it's not been the same front office the whole time. It's the different people, tons of different players, and anyway. So, I'll start with Provorov. So 7 years, average annual value of $8.5 million for a total of 59.5 million. They did sign him from being a UFA. So, that's a pretty big contract. If we're gonna compare it to the rest of the team here, that is up there with. Hold on, let me pull my stats back up here. That's more than they're paying Sean Monahan. It's more than they're paying Coyle. Zach Werenski's making 9.58. Roby's making 8.5. So that's right behind him. Excuse me. Sorry, I've been kind of sick here lately. So yeah, that's literally as it stands right this moment of the active roster, that is the second largest contract on the team. So why? Well, for quite a few reasons. One, they weren't able to sign anybody else, in my opinion. I think that we'd all heard the rumors about Noah Dobson, and then he ended up choosing to go to Montreal. It's fine. But yeah, this is quite the move. What do you think about all this, Kevin?
So there are benefits to it, and there are some potential negatives to this. We'll just start with what could be bad about this and this is not just an Ivan Provorov thing. This is just a player thing in general, which is you sign anyone to, let's say, a deal that is 3 years or longer. That could be good. Some, down the road, you could be looking at the contract and saying, "Ooh, that's a bad contract. That is bad." Unfortunately, they're stuck with that, and no one's going to want to have that contract, so you're stuck with it. On the flip side of that, there is the possibility where it's you look in the future man, that's a good contract. They're getting a bargain there where he probably would cost more if it was a different situation. And that's what it is. There's a potential that this could backfire on the Blue Jackets. It also could not backfire, and it could be a good thing. Ultimately, this had to happen for many reasons. The Blue Jackets know that their defense isn't the greatest. They know that it has to get better. They have to improve on that. And they have tried. There are multiple ways that they have tried. They tried to get Noah Dobson. That did not work. We talked about it on last week's show, and I'll say it again. The Islanders wanted way too much. They wanted our 2 first-round draft picks plus Dmitry Voronkov. Oh, and they wanted another draft pick or a prospect. At that point, no thanks. That's too expensive. Islanders are being a bit greedy there. And what's come out now is that the Blue Jackets even offered Noah Dobson more money than the Canadians did. So essentially, the Blue Jackets offered him more money, 2 first-round draft picks, and Dmitry Voronkov, and then you wanted another draft pick or a prospect. No, you are just being Islanders. You're being way too greedy there. Just no, too expensive. So that didn't work. They tried to go to Calgary and try and get Rasmus Andersson out of Calgary. There, essentially, from what I've read, there was a deal in place. There was interest, but Rasmus Andersson didn't want to do it because he wasn't ready to negotiate a deal. So can't really help that one out there. You tried there. And then you think, oh, maybe Aaron Ekblad goes in free agency. Maybe you should try and take a run at him. That didn't work because, well, Aaron Ekblad didn't even go to free agency. The Panthers signed him to a new deal, so he's staying in Florida. So that didn't work. And they're like, well, maybe Vladislav Gavrikov, good player for the Blue Jackets. Maybe you can get him back. Maybe you can get him back. No, he signed a 7-year deal with the Rangers because he had his heart so set on playing in New York that no other team couldn't do anything about it. The Blue Jackets or any other team could have given him the biggest contract in the world, where it could have been like 7-8 years, and let's just say $12 million, $13 million a year. And he still would have said no to that because he wanted to play in New York for the Rangers. So that's out.
And he has friends there already too. He's got Panarin right there. I mean, I don't know how like buddy they are, but they played together before.
Yep, they did.
No.
So you tried to get Dobson, that didn't work. You tried to get Anderson, that didn't work. No Ekblad, no Vladislav Gavrikov, and then essentially comes down to that whatever options you have, it gets basically tighter, and the options are very limited. And that, in this case, benefited Ivan Provorov because essentially the Blue Jackets, came from a weaker position to where they had to. Now, in every negotiation, there's a give and take on both sides, where both sides say they want something, and then ultimately they do have to give something up. So, there's stuff that Ivan Provorov probably had to give up, but it's the same with the Blue Jackets. So it's a weaker position that the Blue Jackets had to come in because they tried all these other options. It didn't work. Ivan Provorov and his agent, I would assume, knows this. And that's where the 7-year deal comes into play, because I have a suspicion that the Blue Jackets didn't want to do that kind of a deal. But when you know that your defense wasn't that good and it needs to be better, just letting Ivan Provorov go is not an acceptable answer, because you're taking a defense that is not very good and you're making it worse if you let Ivan Provorov go. So that was not an option. They had to get Ivan Provorov. On top of that, Ivan Provorov, he is one of the best defensemen that the Blue Jackets have on this team. He is tough. He Mr. Reliable, block shots, physical, grind it out, gives you good defense, a little offense, a little here, a little there, power play, penalty kill, just toughness. Those types of guys you can't, and he's big, physical. Yes, he's a left-handed shot defenseman, but he can play the left side of the ice and the right side of the ice. That is something that most people cannot say. It's either you can play the right side of the ice or the left side of the ice. Ivan Provorov can do both. So that makes him even more valuable. So this had to happen.
So what about the fact that when this contract's up, he's gonna be 35? What do you feel about that?
That's one of those things where it could look back and like, oh God, that's awful. Or it could be, no, that was a good contract. He's still playing good because hockey is just like, you think some guys that get to like 30, 31, 32, and then they're just done. And then some guys, it's like they're 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, even 40, and they're still fine.
Yeah.
It's just, what are you going to get? And if I,
9, Obi's like old. Yeah.
yeah, well, he's older than he actually is. The dude's like 30 something. He looks like he's 52, but that's besides the point. But if I had to take a guess as of right now, I think that I don't think the 35 thing is going to be a big issue because Ivan Provorov is just a tough SOB and he takes good care of himself. And he's never gotten injured. He's never missed a game because he was hurt. He only missed a game because of coronavirus. And knowing what I know about him, I have a feeling that if they let him, he probably would have played through that too. Because that's just how tough Ivan Provorov is. Don Waddell, he shared a story in a press conference when he was talking about Ivan Provorov when they signed the deal, and he remembers that this past season they're in Vancouver. Ivan Provorov gets whacked into the boards and he hurts his thumb. And like you see it on the replay and it's like, oh God, that looks awful. Like that's gotta hurt. And that looks like he's going to be out for a bit. But no, Ivan Provorov, the next game in Winnipeg, he's back because what happened? Ivan Provorov, yeah, he missed the rest of that game in Vancouver, but he popped his thumb right back in. And he just played the next game like it was nothing. And I'm paraphrasing what Don Waddell said, but he was talking about that moment in Vancouver where he gets whacked into the boards and hurts his thumb. And he looks at him and said, oh, how long are you going to be out for? And Ivan Provorov's like, I hurt my thumb, not my foot. Basically saying like, I'm going to be fine. Well, true to his word, he was proven to be correct because he played the next game in Winnipeg. Blue Jackets win that game 4-1. But it's just like, damn, the toughness when probably anyone else would probably be out for a bit because of that thumb injury. And no, not Ivan Provorov. So if I had to take a guess, as of right now, in my opinion, I don't think the 35 thing in regard to the contract is going to be an issue because he's just a tough son of a bitch. He warrior, blocks shots, grinds it out, physical hits, and again the thumb. He gets whacked. He gets whacked into the boards, breaks his, hurts his thumb, and you think he's going to be out for a bit. Nope, he's there the next game. That's just who Ivan Provorov is.
He is only 27. I mean, that's roughly Zach Werenski's 28.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like they're very close in age. I think Sivo is right about there. He's a little bit older than them, but so it's like they have like this is one thing that Waddell has obviously been collecting players with experience, and so he decided to keep one instead of going elsewhere and looking. There's a guy with a lot of experience right here at home, and 8.5 is what it took. I do foresee the cap going up at some point, but then also other players. Maybe that's going to set the tone for maybe some other signings,
Right.
bigger signings. There is still like 16 mil in cap space, but the Blue Jackets have, a couple people to look at yet.
And another thing, I want to throw this one out there, is that for years, people have said, "Oh, we want guys that want to stay here." Okay, I agree with that. I absolutely want guys to stay here. Ivan Provorov was one of those guys because he's said his entire time with the Blue Jackets that he likes Columbus, he likes playing for the Blue Jackets, and he wants to stay. He even said that this season multiple times. When he had a press conference at the end of the season, he basically said that same exact thing. I like the Blue Jackets. I like Columbus. I want to stay here. So for all these years, when many Blue Jackets fans, including myself, have said, "Oh, we want people who want to stay here." And I agree with that. And then you get a guy who actually wants to stay here and sign with the Blue Jackets again. And you have some people freaking out like, no, not Ivan Provorov. Not Ivan Provorov. Oh, that contract is too much. It's this, he's that, he's bad, he's this or that. And it's like, no, sorry, he's just not. Is it a bit more expensive than it probably should have been? Yeah. But sometimes that's just how it goes. And
Yeah, who knows what other offers he was getting?
That's true too.
That, I have no clue because I'm not like not there. I'm not there, but still, like I'm guaranteed there was other offers on the table from other places.
Yes. So you don't know that. And then on top of that, in some hypothetical scenario, if you let Ivan Provorov go, you're a defense which is not very good. You're making it worse. On top of that, essentially, you would kind of have to go into free agency and get someone, and the options are not very good. And then you would have had to go get someone that's not very good, and then probably pay a little bit more than you want to or should. And then you people out there be like, "Oh no, why'd you get that guy? He's not very good. You overpaid, you this or that." So honestly, you just can't win with some of these people. You just can't. So there are positives and negatives to this, but overall, in my opinion, I think this is a pretty good move. And it's one of those things that it had to be done. When you try all these other options and it doesn't work, you have to do it. It has to be done because you can't continue to go this way where you're good on offense, but then you make your defense worse and your defense isn't very good, because then eventually that's going to hurt you consistently and you're not going to go very far. It's like, it was the right move to get Ivan Provorov. I like Ivan Provorov. It had to be done. And another thing, I'll say this. One of the things that people always say about Columbus, that especially Blue Jackets fans, hey, come to Columbus. Great place to raise a family. Nice neighborhoods. People aren't going to bug you. They're not going to be on your ass. They're not going to nitpick you for every single little thing you do, good or bad. You can enjoy a nice night out on the town with your family, or at a bar or a restaurant. You can go to, some stores. No one's going to bug you. Maybe they might say hi or something, but they're not going to be like going after you. Say, "Can I have an autograph? Can I have a picture? Can I have this? Can I have that?" That doesn't really happen. You can just focus on playing your game and you can have a nice night out on the town. It's a great place to raise a family. That's other places can't really say that. Columbus can. Oh, and guess what? Ivan Provorov, he has a wife and his wife's pregnant with the kid, and the kid is going to be here at any moment, sometime in July.
Really?
Yes.
No doubt. Well, that's cool.
So
Columbus
Columbus is perfect for that. So
time flies.
that's another thing that Columbus is, good at. And we have, so when you say, oh, we want people to be here and you're great for that, Columbus is perfect for this. Yeah. And then you freak out that the guy who wants to be here, like, no, not that guy. It's like, well, you're wrong. And you can't pick and choose. I don't get it, but that's just besides the point. I've kind of gone on a little rant here. We got a comment from Boomtown. Boomtown says, I think if you play it out when the Jackets playoff window opens in a couple years, Provorov will show his true value when that team experiences playoff hockey for the first couple of times. That is true. Good comment here, Boomtown, because other than like Boone Jenner and Zach Werenski and a couple other people on the Blue Jackets, no one has really experienced playoff hockey. They really don't know what it's like other than a couple people. So a guy like Provorov, who's been here for a bit and played in the playoffs, is definitely going to help out the Blue Jackets when they do get back into the playoffs. So I agree here, Boomtown. Good comment.
Yeah, no, that's exactly, I think, what Don Waddell's kind of plan is with all that, is because, yeah, I mean, not only is he experienced, but then you can rely on him to be there. Like, unless he's got a broken foot or broken leg or something, he's going to be there. And so, you don't have to, like, that's your plan. You don't necessarily have to make backup plans quite as bad as the Jackets had.
So.
Few years.
And,
let's go on.
If you are currently watching this show live on Twitter or on YouTube and you want to make a comment, feel free to do that. And, I'll put it up on the screen within reason, but, you can be like Boomtown and I'll probably put your comment up on the screen and we'll talk about it. So, anything else to say about the Ivan Provorov Hefty Duck?
Nope. We can move on to the next big signing by the Blue Jackets recently. And that is Dmitry Voronkov. He signed a 2-year average annual value of $4.75 million. So he goes up a little bit in his contract. And personally, I think that this was a fine move. I am curious what other kind of offers he may have had or what was on the table for him, because he had been an RFA, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, so they didn't have to give him this big of a qualifying offer of an offer, as I think. So anyway, this actually moves him up to the current. I mean, he's making more than Kirill Marchenko. He's the third highest forward on the active roster right now, behind Sean Monahan and Charlie Coyle, at $4.18 million for the next 2 years. So it's not a huge contract. I don't think it's a huge gamble. I think he deserves a contract, but let's just talk about. I've seen some talk on social media about people also dogging on this. Any decision anyone's going to make ever is going to get dogged on by someone at some point. But I just want to address some of those points that people were making, in that they're like, oh, well, his even strength defense sucks, and he's not worth that amount. He's not playing to that amount or whatever. But when you look back at this past season and the Monahan, Voronkov, Marchenko line, they were inexplicably, they were awesome. Like, you can't deny how good they were. And realistically, Dmitry Voronkov in 73 games last year had 23 goals, 24 assists for 47 points. So he's a 20-plus goal scorer. He's a 20-plus assist maker. He's a plus 17. he's a little high on the penalty minutes, but nowhere near like what Olivier is. So what he may give up a little bit in defense, he's adding to the offense, and I think that he's only 24. He's developed pretty far into his career by now, but I do think that there's always that, as Waddell has been collecting, like I said, guys with experience. You get him next to those guys with experience, have him learning. I mean, he's a 20-plus goal scorer. That's deserving of $4 million. They're not giving him 6 or 8 or something crazy. So, in my opinion, I think this was a solid sign. What is your thoughts about this, Kevin?
I like this. Kind of feel like maybe if you're doing the whole just over 4 million thing, I feel like that he probably could have gotten more than that. But you know what? This is a good deal, not just for the Blue Jackets. It's also a good deal for Dmitry Voronkov because it's your stereotypical prove it deal, bridge deal, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
We've seen some good play out of you so far, and let's just see if you can keep it going. And if you can keep it going, then you will get a much bigger and better contract from the Blue Jackets next time. And it's been 2 seasons, so it's kind of a small sample size so far. But what we have seen so far from Dmitry Voronkov has been outstanding. 6'5", 230. He is a big Russian man. And he's physical, and he is a pain in the ass to play against. Where he really shines is he's a good net front presence guy. You stick his butt right in front of the net, and magic happens. Whether that be a deflection goal, or a goal where he just jams it in front of the net. He's a good screen. The Blue Jackets have scored goals where he just stands in front of the net. Good screen. They shoot, score because, yeah, he's a good screen. He's 6'5", 230. Good luck trying to stop a goal when that is standing right in front of you. But also, he's not just that, though. He does have an underrated shot. He has scored some goals that were just awesome shots, where he's had some snipe goals. Like, wow, what a shot. Awesome goal. And versatility. He can play center. He can play wing. You can put him on the first and second line. He's fine. You can put him on third and fourth line. He's fine. But where he, like you said, Hefty Duck, where he really shined this season is that first line with Kirill Marchenko and Sean Monahan. It was ridiculously good. It just seemed like just about every time they were on the ice, they scored a goal for the Blue Jackets. And the analytics community, they love this line. I would always see that stuff pop up on Twitter throughout the season where it'd be like the Blue Jackets line of Dmitry Voronkov, Sean Monahan, and Kirill Marchenko. It's an awesome line. It's one of the best lines in hockey and one of the best lines from an analytics standpoint and all this other stuff. Because Dmitry Voronkov was that good. He's got 20 to 30 goal potential. He's shown he can do that. It's just about, can you take that next step? And this is another thing. This is not necessarily me ripping on Dmitry Voronkov, but this is just a thing that you see with bigger people in general, is that for some people who are bigger, like a Dmitry Voronkov, they play smaller than they actually are. It takes some time for them to learn that, hey, I'm a bigger dude. I can use this to my advantage. And once that light bulb turns on and you get it, and you're doing it on a consistent basis, it's a whole new ball game, and you become that much better of a player. And it's like, good luck having fun with that, opposing teams. We've seen this with Pierre-Luc Dubois when he was with the Blue Jackets. He's a bigger dude. And at first, you can see that it just wasn't quite there. Well, but once he learned that, hey, how to play with his size, like, hey, I'm a bigger dude, I can use this to my advantage. It was over. It was a pain. It just made him that much harder to play against. Some moments I remember about Pierre-Luc Dubois. One game during the 2019-2020 season, the Blue Jackets are in Toronto. It's a puck battle along the boards. The Blue Jackets have in their offensive zone, and it's him and Austin Matthews. And essentially, he just ragdolls Austin Matthews by just bullying him, wins the puck battle, takes the puck away from him, ragdolls him, and then he just skates to the net and just jams it in because of his size and just his physicality, where he just bullied the dude, won the puck battle, ragdolled him, and then he just goes straight to the net and just jams it in there because no one was going to stop him. And then he scored a goal against Toronto in the playoffs to win it in overtime, the third goal to complete the hat trick, where again, it was just a similar thing where he had two guys kind of right on him. And he was because of his big size, he just bullied them and just squeezed through that tiny hole. They weren't stopping them. And then he's all alone on a breakaway and he barrels his way to the net, shoots and scores. There are other moments like that too, because once you understand how to use your size, other teams are screwed. It's a similar thing with Dmitry Voronkov. Sometimes you see it where he understands that he is a bigger dude, that he can use that to his advantage. And he has scored goals because of that. And he's just kind of bullied teams, ragdolled them. And it's worked to his advantage. And then sometimes he doesn't do that because sometimes you just don't quite get it yet. But once he does, it's a whole new ball game. He's going to be a even better player. And it's like, oh, God, have fun with that, opposing teams. Because he's already a pain in the ass to deal with. 6'5", 230, right in front of the net. But once he gets that completely, you're screwed. Have fun with that. And the perfect example of where that happens for Voronkov this season is the goal that he scored in the outdoor game. We've showed this goal multiple times on the show, where essentially the Blue Jackets are on the power play, and there's a good puck movement by the Blue Jackets. It goes to Kent Johnson, and you see it on the replay. Dmitry Voronkov, he essentially just bullies his way right in front to the net, and he boxes people out, and he just puck goes to his stick. He shoots and scores because of just his big size. There was no way that Detroit was stopping him on that play. He's done stuff like that before. If he can do that on a consistent basis, look out. He's going to be a whole new better player, and other teams are screwed. Have fun with that.
Right. Yeah. I mean, the criticism I've seen is about, maybe his experience, and with time that will come.
And
Um
in regards to the defense thing, like, I get it. You want players to, like, not be completely bad on defense or offense, but that's not the main reason why I have Dmitry Voronkov on my team. I have Dmitry Voronkov on my team because he's big, he's physical, he's 6'5", 230, and he can score goals, and you park his ass in front of the net, and he gets greasy goals right in front of the net. Deflections, tips, he jams it in. Physicality, like, that's why you have Voronkov. Every
I think he
player,
plays the
he's that.
style that Waddell and Evison are both looking for. If you just look at both their former programs, I feel like he could have fit in for the Hurricanes when Don Waddell was there. I feel like he could have definitely fit into the Wild when Dean Evison was there too. So, looking at that, obviously it's the general manager who makes the decisions, not the coach. But I can also see the coach being like, hey, this guy, I can definitely use him. If you're going to ask my opinion, because I'm sure they ask his opinion. I mean, he's a coach.
Yeah.
He knows, like, these players pretty well at this point. Yeah, but Yeah, let's keep her moving on here. What is the next thing on the list? Would
So
that
here
be
next.
Owen
So next up,
Isaac Lundestrom? All right. So this was kind of a low-key signing for the Blue Jackets. He formerly he was just playing for the Ducks, and he became a UFA because he received no qualifying offer. And they signed him at the Blue Jackets signed him for 2 years, an average annual value of 1.3 million for 2.6 total. So once again, kind of like a safe contract. I don't know too much about Lundstrom, but I do know that he's played his whole career, I believe, in the NHL for the most part. So this is going to be a guy to just add potential third line, fourth line. I haven't really looked into him too terribly much yet.
So this is what I can say because I've looked a little bit into this. If you think about this, there was a possibility that the Blue Jackets may or may not have Sean Corrali anymore or Justin Danforth.
And they don't have Sean Corrali anymore.
And that turned out to be true, is that they don't have Sean Corrali anymore. They don't have Justin Danforth anymore. That does hurt the Blue Jackets. It weakens their depth because Sean Corrali, good third line, fourth line guy, center, physicality, toughness, block shots, penalty kill, and he's really good at faceoffs. Well, you don't have that anymore. Justin Danforth, he's more of a winger, but he can play center too, and he can give you faceoffs. And like Corrali, he's, physical, grinded out, tough dude. That's, kind of what you want. Well, you don't have any of those guys anymore. They went off to, to different teams. Isaac Lundestrom essentially is a Justin Danforth / Sean Corrali replacement because he is a big physical center that can give you good third line, fourth line minutes. He's good at defense, good at penalty killing. He's really, really good at face-offs. Sometimes give you a little goal here and there, but what he really is, it's physicality, size, defense, third line, fourth line minutes, and he's good at face-offs. And when you think about it, third and fourth line, and generally speaking, they're more likely to be defense. And what was an issue that the Blue Jackets have had this season? Defense. So when you get that helps your defense out. Your defense is not going to be as bad. It's a similar thing with getting Charlie Coyle and Miles Wood. Those are guys that can give you good third line, fourth line minutes, penalty kill, face-offs. Well, not Wood because he's a winger, but
Wood. Where's Wyan from Needham?
Yes, where's Wyan? He did that. Our good old friend Wyan with the Wood joke that he likes to do all the time and did it on our show last week. But where's Wyan when you need him? So he could say Wood again. But that's why getting a guy like an Isaac Lindstrom and Miles Wood and a Charlie Coyle, because it helps out your third and fourth line be better, and you're going to have better defense because of that, and physicality, better face-offs, and so much more. So that's why a move like this makes sense to help replace some of that depth that you lost by not having Sean Corrali and Justin Danforth anymore.
Yeah. You know me. I like the stats side of things. And the fact that you brought up Sean Corrali, I decided to compare their stats real quick, Lundestrom and Corrali. So last season, Corrali played 82 games. He had 6 goals, 11 assists for 17 points, -4, and 40 penalty minutes. So, and he's 32 years old. So 25-year-old Isaac Lundestrom, 79 games, 3 less, very close. 4 goals, 11 assists for 15 points. Very similar. He had a -12 that can be worked on. And he only had 10 penalty minutes. So hopefully this looks like a Sean Corrali. And I think Corrali gets he barely gets calls in his favor. Sean Corrali, he's a tough son of a bitch.
Mm-hmm.
He plays hard. He's also pretty tall, and like
Yeah.
pretty big guy. So
Yeah.
like he just doesn't get those calls. So maybe a younger kind of guy like Lundstrom might get some of those calls and less penalties called against him just for being in the wrong place at the wrong time. And don't get me wrong, I think Crowley could control his stick just a little bit better at times, but what are you going to do? I mean, you're a pretty big guy. So I like that comparison.
Because that's essentially what people were saying on Twitter. Like, this is your Justin Danforth / a Sean Corrali replacement, and it's a good one at that. And I'm just going to say this, a lot of people have been saying that they want the Blue Jackets just to make moves, and, go get that guy, or, get that defenseman or get that guy. Just
And
making
then they're going to bitch every time. Why did you get this guy? Why did you get that guy?
Yeah.
Why did you get Charlie Coyle?
Yep. That's perfectly right there, Hefty Duck. That's true. They complain about everything. But if those people say, oh, get that guy. Well, making moves just to make moves is stupid and it gets you nowhere. And even if you did that, guess what? Then you wouldn't be able to afford moves like this that actually make sense, that helps out your third and fourth line, helps out your team, and makes your defense better. So this is why you just don't make moves just to make moves. And honestly, a lot of these people, I see it on Twitter, there's some of you people are just god-awful takes, and I'm like, I'm glad that you are nowhere even close to having to do anything with the Blue Jackets, because you would make awful moves and your hockey knowledge is not the greatest. And I'm being very nice about that. I could say very more rude things. I'm not going to, but sometimes some of you people I ask that you just try your best to be just a bit more educated and not have so many bad takes and not just make moves just to make moves, because that's what many of you want. You just want to make moves just to make moves, and that's stupid, and that gets you nowhere.
To be fair, some people might say this about us. And that's fine, dude. We're not all going to agree, but at the end of the day, I really like to put myself in like Don Waddell's shoes or Dean Everson's shoes and be like, okay, what is really the best we have? And to be fair, their hockey knowledge is a million times mine, and they have people helping them they have scouts helping them, they have coaches helping them, and this and that. And so this is what the direction they're going, and I'm okay with that.
And I have my own knowledge. I've been watching hockey for most of my life, so I have decent hockey knowledge, but even me, I don't know everything. And I've really, in the last couple of years or so, I've just adopted this attitude that, you know what? I'm just having fun and I'm just along for the ride, and I'm just going to watch, and whatever happens, happens. Whatever move it is, you just go with it. And then if it's bad, then you can say, okay, that wasn't very good. And if it turns out to be good, then you say, okay, that was good, because, we can all have our own opinions and stuff and be armchair GMs and stuff, but the guys that are running it, generally speaking, have a better understanding of what's going on and have more knowledge that you will ever have. So I'm just along for the ride, just seeing how it goes and just enjoying it, because that's what it is.
Well said. All right. So what is next on our list here?
Let's see here. Okay. Let's go on the list. We'll put this up on the screen. All right. We're going to Ohio State did something that I like, which is okay. So we got a little slide here to put up on the screen. It is a Blue Jackets logo and a Ohio State logo, because development camp recently happened for the Blue Jackets. And they have all the drills, and they put them through scrimmages and passing drills and shooting drills and a whole bunch of other stuff just to see where guys are at. Offer them some tips, where to go, how to build yourself up, and stuff like that. There's also like team get-togethers that they have every year. This year they had a get-together like a bowling alley somewhere in the Columbus area.
Oh, I think I know which one it is. Oh shit, I've been there. It's the one by Top Golf. I don't know. They have a bunch of like Blue Jackets memorabilia like all through there, a bunch of signed stuff, anyway.
Yeah.
I assume that's the one.
So it was at a bowling alley, and also the Blue Jackets took all their prospects during development camp to the Ohio State football facility. And I have pictures to share. And once I share those pictures, I'll go on another rant on why I like that. So, first, here we go. It's the Blue Jackets from their Twitter page. Blue Jackets handshake emoji. Buckeyes. The Dev Camp boys had a blast touring at Ohio State football facilities today. So there we go. Picture one. We got Charlie Ehrlich. And I'll be honest, I don't know who that is, but it's a Blue Jackets prospect wearing Ohio State football helmets. And Charlie Ehrlich is holding the football. And you got two chairs behind him and different pictures in the background, and an Ohio State pennant and a football and Ohio State helmet right here. There's another Ohio State helmet right there. Okay, that's pretty cool, you know. Here we have Luca Pinelli, and I could be right or wrong on this. I think that's Luca Morelli. I could be right or wrong. But it's next to the national championship trophy because, of course, Ohio State won the national championship in football this season. So that's cool. I have this particular room. I have been in this room before many times. It's a trophy room where they have different trophies that they've had from different bowl games they've won, and national championship trophies and Big Ten championship trophies. And they have Heisman trophies in there. It's a cool room. I've been in there before, and then you can't see it, but not in the picture, but just to the left, there's like this like TV room that you can go in, and they have this couch that's in the shape of an Ohio State football helmet. That's cool. And you can sit in it and like watch Ohio State stuff on the TV there. It's cool. It's a cool room. I've been there many times. And let's see here. Another room. So we know William Whitelaw right there. That's Andrew Strawman. Guion, that's Richard from Providence.
Yeah.
So that's cool. And another shot of the trophy room of the full team.
That's
and
cool.
Caden Lindstrom, he's right there.
I mean, some of these guys play for other like college teams,
Yeah.
but Ohio State football is like one of the biggest names outside of the NFL as far as football.
Yeah, I mean, if we're being honest with ourselves, if you play for the Blue Jackets, you will eventually, some way, shape, or form, will be finding yourself at some sort of Ohio State football game or something, because that's just how it is. You see many Blue Jackets players at Ohio State football games. That's just how it is. And then, you see many times where Blue Jackets guys are wearing Ohio State stuff, because that's just how it is. Unless Zach Wierenski, because he's a Michigan guy and he wore a Michigan suit to a Blue Jackets game one time.
Maybe this is why they don't do as much with the hockey program, because all these dudes went to different schools, and they
but
might not like it as much as we do.
Yeah, but I think they should do something with the hockey program. But overall, this is it's pretty cool. But that's not all, because we're going to go back here. Ohio State, apparently Ohio State football facilities have a basketball court. Why? I don't know.
For cardio, for fun.
Yeah, like why? You're a football team, not a basketball team, but whatever, I guess. And here's different Blue Jackets prospects just having fun at the basketball court at a football facility.
It's just guys being dudes. I love it. It's definitely some stuff like when I was playing soccer as a kid or as a teenager.
Yeah, so
if there was somewhere just to goof off and burn some energy, we were definitely doing that.
Yeah. So we'll play this one more time.
He just dunk it, dude. Like,
Yeah.
that's impressive. I mean, I know these guys are huge. They all like. It's so hard to tell like how big these guys are because they're all big. They're
Yeah.
all like so tall.
Yeah.
But
But
dang,
yeah, there you go. So
impressive.
it is impressive. So why do I like this? I'll tell you why I like this. We've talked about this on the show many times. And if you've read the Columbus Chill Factor book, which is a great book that tells the hockey history of Columbus and how the Columbus got the Blue Jackets, it's a book that you should be reading. You can go get it on Amazon and a bunch of other places, but that's besides the point. But if you read that book, you know that historically, up until a couple years ago, Ohio State is awful towards the Blue Jackets. They're rude. They've treated them terribly. And one of the ways they did that is they worked with the state government of Ohio to try and stop the Blue Jackets from coming to Columbus. The Shot, where both basketball teams for Ohio State play and the men's hockey team play, that was built in an attempt to stop Nationwide Arena from happening. Well, it backfired because, well, Nationwide Arena got built. Ohio State working with the state government of Ohio to try and stop the Blue Jackets from coming to Columbus. Obviously, that backfired because, well, the Blue Jackets are in Columbus. And for years, Ohio State, I never understood this, but for years, Ohio State had this like weird hate boner for the Blue Jackets. They were always rude to them. The Blue Jackets would go out of their way to support Ohio State, and the Blue Jackets to this day have like Ohio State nights at Blue Jackets games. And the Blue Jackets are always out there showing support for Ohio State on social media. When the Blue Jackets played a game at the New York Islanders, it was the day of the national championship game when Ohio State was playing Notre Dame. And minus the Michigan players, every other player walked into that game wearing red Ohio State football jerseys. So the Blue Jackets have always been big supporters of Ohio State. They've always gone out of their way to support Ohio State. And for most of the Blue Jackets' existence, Ohio State has been awful. Hey, can we have a hockey game at the shoe? No, it's, the plumbing. Yeah, the plumbing's bad. We'll go with that. Hey, what about this? No. What about this? No. Urban Meyer, he apologized, but he said, oh, there's no, at one point in time, he said there's no professional teams in Columbus. And that was bad because that's not true. But also at that point in time, when he said that, the Blue Jackets gave him and his son a locker room tour of the Blue Jackets locker room. And Urban Meyer had been to Blue Jackets games and stuff like that. Urban Meyer later apologized and no, I was wrong. But it just little stuff like that.
Not to mention the crew. The crew have been around for how long?
Yes, and the crew and the Clippers. So like that was just a bad comment. And there's all this other dumb shenanigans crap that Ohio State would do, and I never understood it. It just really upset me because I really like Ohio State and I really like the Blue Jackets. And I'd be like, Ohio State, why are you doing this, man? Why are you doing this? This is stupid. I hate this. Don't do this. But now we fast forward to now. Ohio State is not doing any of that dumbass petty crap. They are treating Ohio State with dignity and respect, and they're always out there supporting the Blue Jackets. The old Ohio State would not have helped the Blue Jackets get an outdoor game. But the new Ohio State does. Because new Ohio State realizes that, hey, if you get an outdoor hockey game at Ohio State, guess what? That benefits you, Ohio State. It really does. It benefits you. And it benefits the Blue Jackets, and it benefits the city of Columbus. And the Blue Jackets in Ohio State and the city of Columbus are going to get the world focusing on you, national spotlight attention on national TV, everyone looking at the Blue Jackets and Ohio State and the city of Columbus. And that's what happened. The Blue Jackets have an outdoor game at Ohio State, and it was outstanding. It set TV records for best rated hockey game on TV since 2019 for an outdoor game. Second, but it set a new record for second highest ever attended game, over 94,000 plus, because New Ohio State realized we do this. This is going to be so huge for us and the Blue Jackets. We're going to benefit for this. We're going to get a crap ton of money because of this.
Yeah,
That's
at
something
least
that'll
like a whole nother game of like an in-season game's worth of revenue right there, I'd imagine.
Yes. Yeah, I
Not to
don't know
mention,
the
didn't the Blue Jackets help them pay for some of their repairs?
Yes. I know that
So
I know this for a fact that the McConnell family, who owned the Blue Jackets, they offered to pay that.
yeah,
I don't know if they actually went through with that or if they just said, "No, we got this. We'll do it ourselves." But I know the fact that the McConnell family, I've heard this, that they offered to pay for some of it. But so that's old Ohio State wouldn't have done any of that. New Ohio State did. And it benefited everyone. Old Ohio State wouldn't really support the Blue Jackets. And if at best they'd like post a good luck post on social media when the Blue Jackets season started, or if the Blue Jackets made the playoffs. That was it. And it's like, cool, thanks for your support, but you're half-assing it and you can do better. But New Ohio State is always out there supporting the Blue Jackets. Consistent support on social media. Obviously, like I said, they helped them get the Blue Jackets an outdoor hockey game. And the Ohio State women's hockey team. They are the best of the best when it comes to supporting the Blue Jackets. They wore Johnny Gaudreau jerseys to their outdoor game at Wrigley Field. Nadine Musrell, the coach for Ohio State women's hockey team, she's been to multiple Blue Jackets games, and she's brought the women's hockey team to multiple Blue Jackets games. Nadine Musrell has helped out at Blue Jackets development camp. Like, this is New Ohio State. New Ohio State loves the Blue Jackets. New Ohio State helps out, supports the Blue Jackets. You know, when I put up on the show, Ohio State did something that I like. And why do I like this? This is why. Because Ohio State has finally gotten with the times, and they're supporting the Blue Jackets consistently. No more of this like weird petty hate boner crap where it's like, I'm going to be rude to you, and a half-assed attempt at supporting you, kind of. They're not doing that anymore. And it, like we've said on our show, it also helps that you have a new president, Ted Carter, who is a big hockey guy, loves hockey.
Right.
Like, that helps so much. Really, really big. That helps a lot when you have a guy that is the president of Ohio State that likes hockey. That's not only going to be beneficial towards the Blue Jackets, that's going to be beneficial for Ohio State hockey, both the men and the women. So there's that. And it also helps that you get a new AD, Ross Bjork, who is more open to things. An outdoor hockey game and a bunch of other stuff. He is definitely more supportive of the Blue Jackets. So, and I've been very critical of Ohio State over the years of just how awful they've been to the Blue Jackets. And some people didn't like it. They didn't want to hear it. But as the years have gone on, more people have come to my side. They see it. They get it. But now, there's really no reason to go after, Ohio State, generally speaking. There just isn't, because they are supportive of the Blue Jackets on a consistent basis. So when I say Ohio State did something that I like, This is why. So I've kind of got on a little rant here. So Afty Duck will get you in here if you got anything to say.
No, yeah, I'm a big fan of the moves that have been made in the past few years. So obviously, the outdoor game was huge for me. I think that was a nice step in the right direction. I think with anytime you have something that dominates a city, like for instance, Ohio State football, anything new, anything like that's going to be kind of scary coming in. You don't know, like, is it going to affect our bottom line? Is it going to be whatever? And I think they had kind of only child syndrome a little bit to where like, yeah, they just don't want to share anything with them. And I think that, 25 years later on, that the tide turning a little bit is nice to see. I think social media also helps out with that a lot too. It's because people see more of what's going on. So yeah, big fan.
I agree with that. So, and this is going to continue. Like the Blue Jackets in Ohio State are going to continue to do stuff like this, where they're gonna work together. The development, they'll probably do stuff like this. Is the second time that the Blue Jackets have had a development camp where Ohio State was involved with it in some way, shape, or form. Nadine Muzzerall worked with it, one development camp, and what we just showed in pictures where Ohio State had Blue Jackets prospects over at the Ohio State football facility. This is going to continue. And I like that this is going to continue. Because it's not going anywhere. Because the new Ohio State realizes you can't do all the bad stuff that you used to do. You need to be nice to the Blue Jackets. And also, you have something that not many other people can say that they have, which is you have a hockey team in your same city that you live in. NHL. You can use that to your advantage. Most places, if you're a college, you're in a college town, they can't say that. But Ohio State can. You're trying to get a guy to come play at Ohio State, football or some other sport or whatnot, or you're trying to get some girl to come play at Ohio State, you can say, hey, come to Ohio State. A lot of fun stuff you can do at Ohio State. We got awesome campus and we got all this cool stuff you can do at Ohio State. But you know what you can also do? I want to go see a hockey game. Okay, Blue Jackets. I want to go see a soccer game. Okay, Crew. I want to go see a baseball game. Clippers. Joe Burrow has a volleyball team in Columbus, the Columbus Fury. You could go see that. Columbus. And then there's the Short North and all the stuff that's going on in the Arena District and German Village, the Columbus Zoo, and so much more. Ohio State can use that to their advantage. Not most college towns, they can't say that. They can't say that, oh, we have a profession in Columbus, we have soccer, we have baseball, volleyball team. We have the Blue Jackets, a hockey team. Because I've seen this. I have seen Ohio State football players at Blue Jackets games. And obviously Ohio State hockey players have been at Blue Jackets games. And I know for a fact Ohio State has used this to their advantage. There have been Ohio State football players that have had intern jobs for the Blue Jackets. So, use this to your advantage, and they have. You think Alabama or Oklahoma or some other school can say something like that? No. But Ohio State can. They can say, hey, we got this, this, and this. Oh, and we got the Blue Jackets. We got an NHL team
I always
that
think
you
of
can use,
Oklahoma
that you
as
can
being
go
one
to.
of
You can
the-
use that to your advantage.
But I don't know if they're the best city to compare to because they have 2 championship teams now. Those bastards. Anyway.
But we have stuff to do. You will never, if you're in Columbus, you're going to Ohio State, you'll never be bored. Some of these college towns I've been to in my life, it's like there's like one or two things there. Yeah, there's a bar and there's like one or two other things. That's it. But Columbus, you go to Ohio State, you'll never be bored there. You will always have something to do. And the Blue Jackets are just one of those many things that you can do. And Ohio State, they can use that to their advantage. So that's what I like. Ohio State, you've really, in the more recent years, you've really stepped it up. You've been awesome towards the Blue Jackets. Thank you for helping the Blue Jackets get an outdoor hockey game. That was awesome. I was at that game. It was awesome. A sea of blue, 94,000 plus. One of the greatest moments of my life. One of the greatest sporting events of my life that I've ever been to. I've been to basically a lot of hockey games since like the 90s. I'm 33. I've been to a lot of hockey games. But that was one of the greatest moments of my life, one of the greatest hockey games, one of the greatest sporting events I've been to my life. So thank you, Ohio State. Thank you for helping the Blue Jackets get an outdoor hockey game. So Hefty Duck and I, we kind of gone on a little heater here, a little rant about why we like this. But to sum it up, thank you, Ohio State. We like this. So keep going. Keep supporting the Blue Jackets. So also, oh my, look, 356 people watching this live. That is the most we've ever had. So, wow. So, thank you, everyone. Just like, wow. That's pretty cool. Oh my God, it just jumped up to 359. Wow. All right. Wow, this is cool. But anyways, on to our next part of the show, which is we are going to continue our player report card series, which is we're going to start with, let's see here. Oh, no, we've done Zach Daggery. All right, so we're going to start with Joseph LeBate. I'm giving Joseph LeBate a C because, well, he didn't really play a lot of games, so there really isn't a lot to, judge him on. But the games he did play, I like what I saw from him. He's a big dude. I want to, 6'5", 200 plus pounds. He brought some much needed physicality and size to the Blue Jackets lineup. He gave the Blue Jackets some good third line, fourth line minutes. And also got his first ever NHL point with the Blue Jackets. It was a game against the Red Wings in Detroit 2 days before the Blue Jackets outdoor game. So that was cool. Shout out to you, Joseph LeBate, for getting your first ever NHL point. He also got the donkey hat of the game that game. And he also played in the Blue Jackets outdoor game. So that's cool. Like, that is a cool memory that he will always have, that Joseph LeBate can say that he played in the Blue Jackets outdoor game. So that's cool. And shortly after that, he went back down to the Monsters, and he was a good player for the Monsters too. But if we're just talking just about the Blue Jackets, it's a C because he didn't really play a lot, and there really wasn't much to judge him on. But what I did see, I liked. So he gets a C.
Shit, I'm muted again. Joseph LeBate. I think that he's signed the Canucks now.
Yes, because that's what Jason.
Oh yeah. Hey, thanks, Jason. What's up? Yeah. He went signed with Mackenzie Chitrin and Jimmy Schultz. 2-way contract. So yeah, Cleveland will miss him. Also, hey Jason, thanks for joining us. For certain, that's a bummer. But But at the same time, I just couldn't see them re-signing him, even for Cleveland. It's just it is what it is. He played 6 games for the Blue Jackets last year. 1 point, 1 assist, +1, 10 penalty minutes. So, no big deal. He didn't necessarily, honestly, like I almost have to give him a C-. Like he did do, I don't know. He didn't shit the bed completely.
No.
But it's the penalty minutes for me is all. It's just,
Mm.
it's those nerves. I'm sure getting out on the NHL night ice a little bit more than like you have. And, yeah, I can't say he did a shitty job. I can't say he did a great job. So C kind of floating in the middle is about where I'm at for now. To get an A next year, sorry, you already, you went to a different team. So no A for you.
Yeah. No, I mean, you'll
Good
have
luck.
to get that. You'll have to get that A somewhere else, not with the Blue Jackets.
Good luck.
Yeah, that's like to you. So that's that. On to our next player in our player report card series.
And yeah,
we have Luke Cunnin. So again, this is going to be a common theme today, which is you
trying
didn't
to be
really
nice
play.
and not shit on people because they did fine.
Yeah, he did, but it's like you didn't really play a lot of games. So again, it's kind of hard to judge when there's not a lot to go off of. But that being said, when he did play, I like what I saw. He gave the Blue Jackets some good third line, fourth line minutes. He is a bigger dude, a little, some physicality. But where he really comes into play here, the Blue Jackets got him at the trade deadline at a time when the Blue Jackets did not have Yegor Chinakhov or Boone Jenner or Sean Monahan for a good chunk of the season. And so you needed some help. You needed some depth because if you don't have to, you don't want to have to bring people up from Cleveland unless you have to. And that was Luke Cunnin. They got him in a trade at the trade deadline, and he filled that role perfectly. They needed a guy to play, give him some good third line, fourth line minutes. And that's exactly what Luke Cunnin did. He did what was asked of him. And that is all you can ask of players. You do what is asked of you. And that is what Luke Cunnin did. So overall, you get a C from me.
Yeah. Once again, too, I already kind of shouted out earlier. Didn't dislike the student anyway. He showed up for the team. He didn't really have much in the way of stats. 12 games played. He was a -4, 9 penalty minutes. 17 shots on goal, and average time on ice of 11 minutes 46 seconds. So, in some ways, kind of a placeholder. Yeah, nothing good, nothing really bad about him. I do have him as one of the free agents that is not signed yet. I think that if he is signed by the Blue Jackets, it might be a little bit later of a signing, just due to the he's got to be an insanely talented player. Anybody who's ever set foot on NHL ice at some point has to be great to get there. Hopefully, good luck to you, Luke Cunnin. Hopefully, something comes your way. He's not a very old guy. He's only 27, so he could have some chances yet in the NHL. But yeah.
So, Mr. Bone 99, a Flyers fan, snuck in here. If Heartsy, if this is you, thanks for your comment. But if it is you, Heartsy, you have the link to the show, so feel free to jump on here if this is you.
Just to be clear, Flyers fans, that is the nickname of one of our friends. Just so everyone knows, we're not talking about that guy. We're talking about a friend who comes to the show sometimes. So
Right.
anyway,
So
Mr. Bone 99 says, shout out to Columbus management for taking care of their guy. Maybe Porovorov can turn into a Nate Schmidt down the road for you. I hope so. That would be cool.
Yeah.
Provorov famously just came over from the Flyers season or two ago. And yeah, I thought that was a good signing then. And I'm okay with it now. It's a lot of money, but yeah, maybe he could be a Nate Schmidt in the future.
So, and there's a important point I do want to point out here, that what Mr. Bone 99 says is, shout out to Columbus management for taking care of their guy. This is another important reason why getting a guy like Ivan Provorov is important, because it sends an important message, not just to people who play for the Blue Jackets, but also other teams and other players who play for other teams, that, hey, if you come to the Blue Jackets and you play for them, the Blue Jackets, they will try their best to actually sign you again and not get rid of you. That has so many positive benefits to that. You're more likely to attract players when stuff like that comes out, compared to, oh well, you'll play for
Burn
them,
and
but,
turn them.
yeah, right. Compared to, oh well, you'll play for them, but they won't give you contracts and they'll just get rid of you for whatever reason. And like, that is a criticism that Vegas has faced, is that I know that they're I know that they're consistently good and they want a Stanley Cup and everything, but there's some things that's still a negative connotation that still hangs over them, which is they get rid of guys like crazy, that they're always looking for the next shiny toy, the next big player. And then there's probably been some guys like, I don't want to play for Vegas because they're probably going to trade me or something. So like, that is an important thing to have here, to know that if I go to a team and I play for them, that they're going to try their best to take care of me and try and get me another contract so that I don't have to go somewhere. So like, that does matter, and that does make a difference. And what do you know? Our guy Hartsey, Twitter comment from Twitter, Provy for Norris. So I agree. But Hartsey, I know you're watching this now, so you do have the link to the show. It's on your private messages on Twitter and private messages on Discord. So if you want to, you have the link. So come on the show and get on here and talk to us if you want. If not, that's okay. There's always next time. So there's that. Now, oh my God, we're over 400 now. 405 people. That's the most we've ever had. Wow.
What nerds?
It just went up to 400. Nope, it was up to 406. Now it went down to 405. But still cool. The most we've ever had. I don't care. This is so cool. But anyways, on to our next player in the player report card series. Christian Fischer. He gets a C because why? A consistent theme that we're having today is he didn't really play a lot, and it's hard to judge because he didn't really play a lot. But again, what I saw, I liked. Some good third line, fourth line minutes for the Blue Jackets. And, again, when he's more of a depth piece that came in when the Blue Jackets needed depth, they needed guys to play for him. When you don't have a Boone Jenner or a Yegor Chinakhov or a Sean Monahan for a good chunk of the season, you need guys because you'd rather not have to bring guys up from Cleveland. And that's exactly what Christian Fischer did. They got him off of waivers, and he did exactly just that. They needed a guy that they could count on to play some games and give him some good third line, fourth line minutes. And that's exactly what Christian Fischer did. So C, because, well, there's not a lot to judge on. And, waivers was good for the Blue Jackets this season. They went 2 for 2. They went Dante Fabro, that did good. And this Christian Fischer thing, that also worked out as well. So Christian Fischer, you get a C.
Yeah. Yeah, I played one game. It's hard for me to really quantify any other grade than kind of a C, just because it was basically saying it's participation. Like, oh, you were there. No offense to you as a player at all, but he is only 28 years old, and he announced recently that he was retiring from the NHL. Um, so he played 9 seasons, 523 games. And here's a quote from an article. Over the last couple of years, I think I just look at my life and what makes me happy, and being around family and kind of my life in Scottsdale. Some of my friends here are really close with me, and I have a pretty small group out here. And honestly, it's just more so a decision of moving on into another chapter of my life. Um, he said on a phone call with the reporter here. I wish there was a big reason why, but in the end, I'm very thankful for the career I had. But personally, I know it's time for a new chapter in my life. And there could be many, many aspects of this. It sounds like he kind of just wants to chill out with his family. And, if he's going to start getting dragged around from team to team, I don't think that he wants that for him and his family. So, I doubt that this is the end of his hockey career as a whole. Maybe as a player, yes, but I can imagine, he's talking about Scottsdale, Arizona. Yes, hockey moved, the NHL moved out of Arizona, but hockey is alive and well in the area. Famously, it's where Austin Matthews from is. Well, I don't know if he's from Scottsdale, but he's from Arizona, and so, you know, um, yeah, good luck to you, Christian Fisher. Appreciate you, I guess, stepping in for your one game, and I don't really have any stats for him. He's a -1, and he did play a game. He played 9 minutes, 39 seconds of a game. So
Yeah.
nice.
Yes. So, yeah. All right. On to the next thing I'm going to talk about is we have some clips from Blue Jackets development camp that I want to share. So we're going to like this. Okay. Did it go? All right. So here we have Jackson Smith shooting on Pyotr Andreyanov. So just
both the new draftees from the first round.
That's right.
But that's cool.
Yeah. It is cool.
For all your listeners out there, I can't tell how many he makes. It's actually kind of small on my screen. So
Yeah.
I'll try to recount this for everybody else who may not be able to fully see. But okay, it's going to restart. Did he miss that one or did he make that one? Luckily, he made that one. So it's starting off, takes the pass, goes around, boom, blocked. I don't know who this is better for. I caught that one. I caught that one too.
Yeah, I think most of them Pewter got it. So that one right there.
I can't tell if it's good sign or not because it's supposed to be they're supposed to both be really good.
But anyway. So next clip, we have Caden Lindstrom. He's just skating around.
Oh yeah, Caden Lindstrom's first. He attended last year as just an attendee, just to kind of be present. But he did. He had just had his back surgery.
So he did do some skating drills and stuff like that, and shooting, but it was by himself. He did participate in some drills, but he was mostly just there just to, be there and hang out. But this one, he was there full participant. And
yeah, so
I knew Caden Lindstrom was big, but I didn't know I didn't think it was that big. But damn, he's 18. I think he's a 6'4", 220. he's going to grow more into that. It's probably going to be like 6'5", 225, 230. Like, have fun with that, teams. Have fun with that. Him and Fantilli and like a Boone Jenner, a Cole Cylinder, like, and a Sean Monahan. Like, yeah, have fun with that. That's just going to be teams are going to hate to play against that. So that's so there's that. So that's a.
Well, yeah, who knows how far up Olivier could end up going,
Yeah.
with the way he was playing last year, dude. I mean,
Right. All right. Another, let's see. We're going to go to, what is it? The Blue Jackets had some development camp clips that I'm going to show. So we're going to do that. Let's see here. Let's see here. Yeah. We'll do some pictures first. So we have Caden Lindstrom right here. Big man. I don't know who that is.
is that the new guy?
Or is that Jack? Yeah, that is Jackson Smith. Smith. Hunter McCown. Don't think I know who that is, but so that's cool. Some pictures.
I think Hunter McCown's unsigned still. This is random. I know this is really random, but let me see real quick. I have
Hunter McCown he's 41. Maybe he's in the 40s. That could be Hunter McCown. I could be wrong.
Let me see. We can just move on. I'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out later. So that, okay. Then we'll do, let's see here. Got some more pictures. We got, I really like this shade of blue for the dark blue practice jersey. I really like that.
Yeah.
I'd buy that.
That's solid.
Yeah. I like that.
They should just make like long sleeve t-shirts that are like almost exactly like that.
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
There's Caden Lindstrom again, looking very happy, smiling.
Sorry, I was going back to the Hunter McCown thing. No, he is signed. I was thinking of Damon Hunt.
Yes. So I've read the comment that this one right here. Will MSU give Caden a bigger bucket? Because of his hair. Because it's because of his hair. It probably does look like it's the helmet is smaller than it actually is. Like, you look at Caden Lindstrom and he does kind of got like that, poofy like afro.
That's what mine would have done when I was a kid for sure.
He
very poofy hair.
Yeah, he got like that poofy afro. And like I can see why that could be an issue trying to get a helmet on, trying to squish that on there. So that comment, will MSU give Caden a bigger bucket? I could see why people think that. I don't think it's that bad of an issue, but I could see why people think that. And that's another picture. Let's see here. Here's a clip where we have Evan Gardner making a big save. We're going to retweet that future rep. That's the winner. No.
Yeah, because correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't Nolan Lalonde going to play over in Europe somewhere?
I have not heard that, so that might be right or wrong.
Okay, I'll look more into it before I start just talking shit. I don't know. Episode where we have the most live viewers we've ever had.
That's right.
Just start making shit up. Oh, it's a new rumor. Yeah, don't listen to me.
Yeah, clickbait title. That's a joke. We don't do
that. Not always, anyway.
No.
Shit.
So there's that. What else do the Blue Jackets have? We have
Yeah, I'm just talking shit. Don't mind me. I was totally ignore what I just said there about Nolan Lalonde.
Jackson Smith going on the ice. So that's cool. Let's see, what else do they have? Well, meeting in the middle of the ice. Let's see here. What else do they have?
If you are listening to from the podcast, the audio, feel free to check out any of these posts. I think that most of these have been shared by Kevin or myself to the mostly by Kevin to the our Brew Jackets Twitter page.
That's right.
And or feel free to catch the replay over on YouTube. I know that I always put the YouTube link in with the podcast, so some places that play the audio will also just play the video. So now would be a good time to look over at your phone or whatever you're listening from.
Yeah. So we have a clip of Caden Lindstrom working out at development camp. You can check that out. There's that. Let's see. We have Luca Pinelli, and he's kind of spinning the football, doing a little dance with the Ohio State jersey, Ohio State helmet.
He's doing the gritty.
Doing a little gritty, a little dance. There you go.
Funny.
So that's cool,
He's got like full football pads and the jersey on. Well,
Yeah.
I don't know if he has pads on or if it looks like he's got some pads.
Yeah.
I know he's probably got like bigger shoulders for an athlete, but right? Or is it just bunch up there?
I
don't think he's wearing them. I think it's kind of padded and looks bunched.
Yeah. So there it is. Just dancing, having fun, Yes. So that's cool. Okay. Let's see here. They're at the Red, White, and Boom 4th of July parade that Columbus has every year. So Caden Lindstrom, Luca Pinelli, Charlie Ehrlich. Stinger is right there in the background. We got Stinger again, and the Zamboni that you see at the Blue Jackets games, that was at the parade, so that's cool.
Like, was it driving or they just towing it? It looks like it was driving on the pavement.
Yeah.
That's cool. I'm sure they can just like take the little extension shit off. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not a Zamboni expert, but
Yeah.
hell yeah.
Let's see.
I'd love to see a Zamboni drag race.
Passing out some candy. What else here? More pictures. Jackson Smith. I think. Caden Lindstrom. I don't know. That visor's kind of goofy that it's pushed up like that, but that's just me. Yeah, I don't know. Whatever.
I like it. Be different.
Yeah, be different. But yeah. Oh, this is Melvin Straw, one of their goalie prospects, who's also going to Michigan State like Caden Lindstrom. So that's cool.
That's cool. Hopefully, we'll see them come up through the system together. But I know goaltenders tend to take a little more time to cook.
Yeah. Let's see here. Oh, there's from the bowling alley. So
let's see. Is that pins? Is it an actual alley or is it like pins? Like pins has like the little like it's almost like mini bowling. I think like skee ball almost.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Caden Lindstrom again.
Yeah, it looks kind of like pins. Yeah. Which they have a partnership, I think, with the Blue Jackets or something. Yeah. So I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
Pretty cool little place when it's not too busy.
Yeah. We got Caden Lindstrom again. Okay. We got more pictures.
These are all like Polaroid type looking pictures, like actual Polaroid looking.
Yeah.
Like, not the like there's blurs and the colors kind of old school looking. I like
Yeah.
it.
Okay, what? Oh, hang on a sec here. Look at that. So all the bunch of pictures right here. No, I'm not going to the next post from here, Twitter. Knock that off. Okay, we have a picture from the actual scrimmage at the development camp, so that's cool. More clips. Goal. A bang bang play. Quickly out to the front of the net, shoot and score. One more time. We'll play it one more time. Okay, that's
Who
that.
was that? Man, I should have looked up the roster and all their numbers for that.
Oh, well.
I didn't pay too close attention.
Let's see here. Let's see here. Oh, another clip. We got Jack Williams here playing the final game of the season. He got a hat trick actually in the game.
Yeah, he got that one NHL game in under his belt. He
Yeah.
was an undrafted signing, I believe.
Yeah.
Not that I believe. I looked it up, so I think I know that one. But yeah, looking good for him. I mean, especially as someone who's undrafted. I mean, I don't know tons and tons of players get like signed that way. Especially a lot of European players sometimes don't always get through the draft.
Okay, let's see here. More pictures from development camp. So this is after the game. Of course, Stinger Cup, to the team who wins it.
I love that. I love that they have an actual trophy. I saw someone comment earlier today. They're like, I think they were like a Vegas fan or something like that. They're like, they don't do anything fun like that. No cup. That looks fun.
Yeah. Well, maybe you should do that. Be like the Blue Jackets in that in this instance. Got more pictures. Let's see here. I think that's it from the Blue Jackets. Okay. I'm going to quickly, where are we at here? I'm going to look at my bookmarks, see if I have anything saved for the show. And then if we don't, then we can, get out of here. Oop, that's not what I wanted to do. Let's see. Bookmarks. All right, I'm going to put this up on the screen. Some analytics I want to share, which is from Fifth Line Canon Analytics. Top 3 impact players for the Blue Jackets this season or Zach Werenski, Adam Fantilli, and Kirill Marchenko. And it says the data, we counted impactful events from every play-by-play regressed against game outcomes to identify what drives CBJ wins, then ranked players by their contribution to those winning events. And Fifth Line Canon Analytics got it from NHL API. and evolving hockey. So, not surprising that the best players from an analytics standpoint for the Blue Jackets were Zach Werenski, Adam Fantilli, and Kirill Marchenko. Anything to say about this hefty duck?
I have something to say. Add it to the stage. Got you. Or did you not want it added?
What? Oh, add it.
The
Add the stage. I can.
I just added it. No. I just put it up on the. Or did you not want to? Sorry, I was opening it so I could see it a little bit easier. But no, it's 100% accurate. Were Monahan to have had more games, I think that he might have replaced Marchenko on this one, just judging by their impact score. And I tell you what, I saw Elliot Friedman talking about that, or heard Elliot Friedman talking about this, about signing Fantilli to an extension already. Absolutely. If they do it now, if I was Fantilli's camp, I would probably wait to see how part of this season goes, and then because I'm banking on it's going to go good. It went great for him last year, so if he continues that improvement, he's just going to need more and more. Sorry, I just noticed we missed some comments like way early.
Really?
Oh, wait, 1:37 a.m. What the hell? Did someone comment on this last night?
No, they couldn't. They shouldn't have, because this is a new show.
Maybe it's like a weird time zone thing. Sorry, I got distracted by that. I seen this earlier. Lester Watson says Roslovic most likely signs with Toronto this week. I saw that they were interested in him, and Fisher played in one game. So yeah, even though it says 1:37 a.m. on our end, obviously it's not, because this guy that he heard us talking about, Christian Fisher.
No,
So
I see. I
Weird.
know.
Is it time zone?
No. I know who that Lester goes on Bob McKelliget's show all the time on his Twitter Spaces a lot.
Oh, nice.
Always talks to him, asks questions, and he does have good hockey knowledge. Think he has. What do you think about this or think about that? And then Bob McKelliget will answer his questions, share his thoughts, and he'll share his views. And then often he has stuff that I don't think about, like, oh yeah, I like that.
Yeah. Well, I
and
appreciate
then
the comments from him. I mean, I'm sorry if we missed them earlier. I didn't mean to.
Yeah. And then he has ideas. Well, I would like to see the Blue Jackets do this or the Blue Jackets do that. So no, he goes on. So Bob McKelliget obviously has a Twitter space a lot.
Yeah, I love listening to those.
And I love listening to those too. I've participated in those too and asking questions. But I know Lester, he's always there asking Bob McKelliget questions and giving his own thoughts on just hockey and the Blue Jackets in general. So I know who that is.
You might be a Blue Jackets nerd, but are you a Blue Jackets nerd enough to recognize names from Bob McKelliget's Twitter Spaces?
You're right. I know. That's me.
I love it.
That
where
is.
would be without you?
I know. That is definitely me. I think I got like 2 more things to share, and then we can, start getting out of here, because I'm looking at my bookmarks right now. Let's see here. Is there anything else that I want to share? Let's see here. Yes. Okay, so this further proves the point we said that Lundstrom is good on defense. These analytics from Rono Hockey prove that even more. As you can see, he 87 on defense. Pretty good. And when the Blue Jackets were not really good on defense, you got a guy like this that's good on defense, that's going to make your defense better. And I like it. So, anything to say on this?
No, I'm hoping that these projections are accurate, because that's exactly what's needed. And does this have anything about? No, it doesn't. Okay, never mind. He's a center, so he takes this. Does it have anything about face-offs anywhere? Because that was another complaint people had about Voronkov. So I was thinking if
I've read that I've read that he's good at face-offs. That's
Cool.
a big reason why the Blue Jackets went out of their way to get him.
Yeah, because I thought Corrali wasn't too bad
No.
at face-offs, and this guy is kind of. I mean, as many people are aware, I don't know if we ever talked about on the show at all. Actually, Corrali signed with the Boston Bruins, right?
He
I'm
did.
sorry. Yeah, he went back there. Where was he at before Columbus?
The Bruins.
Bruins. Okay, that's what I was thinking. So he goes and joins former Blue Jacket Andrew Peak, although I haven't heard anything about him lately. So good luck to your Sean Corrali, man. We'll really miss you. I really enjoyed watching you play. And I'm not saying that we just have a guy to replace him. There's no one replacing you, man, especially being kind of the hometown guy. But damn, I'm gonna miss him. But I'm pretty hopeful with this guy.
Yeah. So I thought this was cool. The Blue Jackets did a video of Ivan Provorov signing his contract. So I'm going to share this one. So this is cool.
I don't give him like a special pen or anything. It's just like a regular like big pen or something.
Yeah.
I literally I bought a kind of a ridiculously priced pen the other day. But I'm an artist and I do art, and so sometimes the ridiculously priced ones are neat. Anyway, I would have gotten like a gold pen or something for this.
Yeah.
Just for contracts.
Done. All right, perfect, great.
Thank you, buddy. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
Have this done and move forward.
Yes, I am too. Awesome.
Yeah, I'm curious. It seemed like maybe he was waiting to do that contract until he kind of had to. He meaning Don Waddell here, and not that like he wasn't going to get a contract, but I think he felt like he had to at this point, and I think he did. I think he had to. It was this, or it was finding another defenseman to try to replicate what he did with his experience and everything.
So, so that's cool. I thought this was a cool video that the Blue Jackets did showing Ivan Provorov, signing his contract. So that was cool. You really don't see that, generally speaking. So that was cool.
Yeah, not with like the older players. Oftentimes we'll see that with like the young guys, maybe like the fresh drafted kind of guys, stuff like that. If they're gonna come to the NHL real quick.
Yeah, so that was cool. I think we got one more thing in my bookmarks I'm gonna share, and what is it? Let's see here. Right. Okay, I know what we're gonna pick. It's right here. So, okay, some analytics for Dmitry Voronkov. This was posted by Bench Rates after the Blue Jackets signed Dmitry Voronkov to the 2-year deal. So I thought this is cool. Overall, it's pretty good analytics here for Dmitry Voronkov. As you can see, let's see. So overall, individual offense 80, on ice offense 91, defense 76. CNTRB, I don't know what that is, but he's got an 84.
Contribution.
Contributions. Okay, contributions. Okay, so 84 contributions.
I believe, or I imagine it's something like that. Unpaid contributions, paid contributions, power score, cap hit.
a lot.
Oh yeah, this is the one I saw about with the face-offs and the
Yeah.
penalties. Yeah.
But oh well. Overall, pretty good. You're seeing a lot of green here. So pretty good analytics here for Dmitry Voronkov. So that is cool. So I just wanted to share that. I think that is that it? I think that. Let's see. We'll put this on the screen just to make sure we did everything. Okay, so we talked about Ivan Provorov, 7-year deal with the Blue Jackets. Dmitry Voronkov, 2-year deal with the Blue Jackets. We talked about that. We talked about Isaac Lundstrom, 2-year deal with the Blue Jackets. We talked about the Caden Lindstrom news. And we talked about Ohio State did something that I like. So, yeah, we are.
I want to do one update just because we're in the season for it. I'm going to do a little free agent frenzy update for everybody.
Yep. All right,
then. Current free agents available. Kristen Fisher retired. Kevin LeBanc, Luke Cunnan, we talked about that already. Jack Johnson is a UFA. Then we have Mikhail Putia. He's an RFA. He was given a qualified offer. The Blue Jackets, like I mentioned, avoid arbitration. So it's probably something looming in the near future. And then there's two that surprised me a little bit. One is Samuel Nasco. He is a UFA with because of no qualifying offer. And then Julian Georgievic Home. So many syllables. He is a UFA as well with no qualifying offer. And as I mentioned earlier, Aiden Hreshik needs to sign by August 15th. And yeah, so there's still some free agents, and there's going to be even more next year. So we have to really, the Blue Jackets cap is, they have like 16 million available still right now. They're not going to the start of this year, and they're not going to next year. I think next year they could be projected to be a pretty high cap once they have to re-sign everybody, and they're still currently paying everyone they are. So just a little free agent update. I'm not sure that we're going to see too many big signings from those guys, but knock on wood. And if not, good luck to all of y'all who, were there.
All right.
But yeah, that's about all I got.
Okay, you know what? I'm going to do one more thing. I'm just going to share pictures from the Blue Jackets outdoor game because I'm going to do it. It's fun. So that was me at there was a tailgate. Jason and a bunch of other people were there, and I was there just talking to everyone and having a fun time. And as you can tell, it was really cold that day. But it just was like normally, like I have that's a big, pretty heavy jacket right there. It's a big, heavy Blue Jackets jacket that I have right there. And normally I have it, but it's not zipped up and I'm fine. But then like the wind that day's like, oh God, that's awful. And it's like, yep, gotta zip up the jacket. That's it was that cold. So
yeah, dude,
so there's that. Let's see here. That my brother took this picture. That was just his idea. He's like, all right, stand in front of the shoe. I'm like, all right, yeah, okay, I'll do that. So there's that. There's me in front of the shoe again. And me and Owen and his girlfriend, Jess.
Oh, hell yeah. I've never seen that picture, I don't think. That's nice.
Yeah, that was cool. I saw Owen there, so that was cool.
That's cool. Man, that was quite a while ago.
Yeah.
I really think about it.
Damn.
We're into freaking July.
It's me pointing to my brick. It's like brick at the shoe.
Oh, yeah.
There you go. You ever go to Ohio State game? There you go. Check out my brick by gate 38. There we have this again at the tailgate with me, a bunch of Columbus friends. You Sarah, and there's Jason, and Jason. You got Justin,
Ellie.
Ellie.
In the middle one. I can't recognize whoever has their scarf over their face, but
I no.
it's fair.
This guy follows me on Twitter. I know who he is, but I forgot his name, so I'm sorry.
Justin Markley or
No, that's right.
okay. I just thought it was tagged over there on the right. Oh, that's the middle guy. Okay, my bad.
Yeah. So this guy follows me on Twitter. I know who you are. I'm sorry, I forgot your name. My bad. I'm sorry. You know, but it was cool. You know, cool picture. This is now his wife. Jason's, this Jason's wife, not that Jason, but this Jason's wife. It can be kind of confusing, but
Jason Newland is the one who commented earlier in the show. He is from
that right there. That's Jason Newland right there.
The Hockey News.
Me and my brother at the Blue Jackets outdoor game. Again, this picture was his idea. He's like, "Hey, let's take a picture." He pulled out his phone and he took a picture. So we did that. So that was cool. And the thing is, my brother is even not that much of a hockey guy to begin with. And even he liked this. So you're doing something right when the hockey game outside at Ohio State that the Blue Jackets played, it was that cool that even my brother, who's not much of a hockey guy, he liked it.
Well, that's cool.
So that's me and Jeff.
Jeff Tripolini from Sports with Strawberry Ice.
That's
One of my
right.
favorite guys.
Yeah, love Jeff Trenopole. Good guy. And
sorry, I butchered your last name.
Yeah, it's okay. But he was at the Blue Jackets outdoor game, and the story of this picture is this. So my brother and I were in line at the concession stand waiting to get some food. My brother, he got like a hot dog and a pretzel. I got 2 hot dogs and a bottle of water, and we're standing waiting in line. And I see, and this is on the upper deck of the shoe. And I see Jeff walking by, and I'm thinking to myself, like, "Oh my God, that's Jeff!" And then I yelled his name like really loud, like Jeff. And then he saw me, like, "Oh, hi!" And then he started talking to me and everything. And then I got like, "Hey, can I get a picture with you?" It's like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Well, I have to go to the bathroom." I'm like, "Okay, bye." But it was cool. Like I got to meet Jeff in person because
cool.
I've been on Jeff's show many times. It's Sports with Strawberry Ice. It's a Cincinnati sports themed show. So, if you like the Reds, the Bengals, the Bearcats, that's he's talking a little FC Cincinnati too, but he's mostly Reds, Bengals, Bearcats. So if that's you, that's a good show for you. You should check that out. He's also had me on a show to talk about the Blue Jackets. So, good to meet Jeff in person at the Blue Jackets outdoor game. I'm going to get rid of the damn notification. And there's the hot dogs that I ate. There you go. They were good. Good hot dogs. For $5 too, so you can't beat that. And here we have my seats at the Blue Jackets outdoor game. The Zambonis there. That right there's the Ohio State band that played music when the Blue Jackets scored a goal. So they played 5 times because the Blue Jackets scored 5 goals. You went 5-3. So 5 times the Ohio State band played music after a Blue Jackets goal. And they played Carmen, Ohio, like they do for the football team when they win. So that was cool. Another game, the warm-ups from my seat. So that was cool. This was upper deck just to the left of center ice, and we're probably about 5 rows up. More zoomed in shot of warm-ups. Let's see here. This is national anthem. Of course, the Ohio State band played the national anthem. This is right before puck drop. I took that picture, but I wanted to say something, but I didn't say anything. I kept saying to myself, to that woman right there, like, sit your butt down. Let's go. game's about to start, sit down, but you're not. You're standing up and you're playing with your phone. Looks like you're trying to send someone a text message. Like, what are you doing? Come on now. Hello, sit your butt down. Game's about to start. Trying to watch a hockey game here. That's just me, though. Going on a little rant, though. Picture would have been better if this person, was sitting down instead of playing with your dang phone. Oh, well. There we hit. See, look, I zoomed in on it, and that dang phone getting in the way. Damn. Still a good picture, but, could have been better if that phone wasn't in there. But right before puck drop, zoomed in. This is after the game. The Blue Jackets win. There's me before the game at the Blue Jackets outdoor game. Oh, that was the Ohio State hockey game. That's the final score, 5-3. Seats, that's right after they won. And that's it. So that's pictures from when I was at the Blue Jackets outdoor game. So that was cool. So we're going to share we'll say our final things, and we can get out of here because we've been on a heater today, going over 2 hours. That is something that we've done a lot more recently here, but that's just how it goes. Sometimes there's a lot of stuff to talk about, and it happens. You go over 2 hours. It happens. But anyways, please like, share, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Please like, share, subscribe to the YouTube channel. That would be greatly appreciated. Please like, share, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Please tell your family. Please tell your friends. Please like, share, subscribe to the YouTube channel. And as I always do, got to give a shout out to my awesome Uncle Doc. A good guy. Love talking hockey with you. Love seeing you at family parties and holidays like Christmas and Thanksgiving and Easter and so much more. And family get-togethers and family birthday parties and so much more. Love talking hockey with you and sports in general. And wish you were still here, man. I miss you very much. But unfortunately, you're not here. You died back in September 2024, unfortunately. But wish you were still here so I could still talk some hockey with you. I could ask you, you're a big Blackhawks guy, but you like the Blue Jackets because of me. The Blue Jackets became your second favorite team. You had a blue Blue Jackets hat that I gave you, and you liked wearing that hat, including you wore that at your cooking job. And that was a popular hat among your fellow co-workers at your cooking job. They'd say, you tell me, oh, what's that hat? Oh, it's a Blue Jackets hat, hockey. My nephew gave it to me, and they thought that was cool. And you told me that, so that was cool. Okay, wish you're still here so I could talk hockey with you and, ask your thoughts on how you thought the Blackhawks season went. And, how did you think the Blackhawks draft went? And if the Blackhawks signed any free agents, I don't know. But if they did, how do you think that went? And I'd share my thoughts on how I thought the Blue Jackets season went and how the Blue Jackets draft went and some of the free agents that, the Blue Jackets have signed. I've shared some thoughts about that as well. But overall, I wish you're still here so I could talk some hockey with you. But shout out to my awesome Uncle Doc. Rest in peace. And thank you for everything.
Rest in peace, Uncle Doc.
Yes. And, you should totally check out. Totally check out Union Blue Soldiers. And we do cool stuff like, marches. So, for example, we do cool marches. So here is a little video from different marches that we've had over the years. So
Don't forget to put it on the screen.
yes, bingo card. That's
got
the
you.
bingo card. Kevin forgets to put it on the screen. So check it out. Here is the video of different marches that Union Blue Soldiers has done over the years. So we're going to play it.
You don't have any sound coming from it, unfortunately.
It crapped out. Oh, well.
But he has a good call on doing the Caden Lindstrom thing first.
Yeah, that's why I said do it earlier on in the show so the sound doesn't crap out. But I was proven to be right, but that's why we did it. If the sound,
even though we know it does it, we don't know why. I don't know how to fix it.
Yeah. I've done that. It's done that many times with my computer. But anyways, if the sound was on, you would hear loud, very loud chants of "Let's go Jackets," because that's what people would be doing, as you can see. We get big crowds of people doing a march. Stinger. We'll back this up so you can, look. There's Stinger. Stinger has showed up to the march. We've had Clay Hall from ABC6 News show up to one of our marches in October 2019.
Like
it was
literally trying to interview you like in the middle of the march.
Yeah.
He's trying to interview a guy playing trumpet. Oh my God.
He's entering a guy. We had a guy play trumpet at one of our marches, Civil War style music. And Clay Hall tried to interview me and the trumpet guy, Steven, at one of the marches, October 2019. It was on TV. It was cool. We get about 50 to 100 people that show up. It's cool. So our next march is going to be the Blue Jackets home opener this upcoming October. So you're going to want to check this out. Check out the Union Blue Soldiers March for the Blue Jackets home opener. It's a fun time to be with your fellow Blue Jackets fans, to march on the Nationwide Arena to cheer on the Blue Jackets. And who knows? Stinger. We've had marches where Stinger shows up. You may be on TV because, we've had people that from TV stations in Columbus, they show up. You never know who's going to show up.
Last year, too.
Yeah. We had, it was 10 TV and NBC4 last year. So you never know who's going to show up at the Union Blue Soldiers March. So Union Blue Soldiers March. So this is the pregame event before the Blue Jackets home opener that you don't want to miss, that you want to go to. Check out the Union Blue Soldiers March. It's a fun Blue Jackets themed event for all Blue Jackets fans to come together to cheer on the Blue Jackets. The next one will be this upcoming October for the Blue Jackets home opener. So that's that. And, again, check out Union Blue Soldiers on social media and so much more. Check out Union Blue Soldiers. Check out Union Blue Soldiers. All right. So that's it for me for now. Hefty Duck, he'll say some stuff that he wants to say, and then we'll get out of here, and then we'll see you for our next show next week. So thanks for watching, everyone, and check out Union Blue Soldiers.
Hell yeah. Also, don't forget to check us out everywhere that you can check us out. We're on YouTube, we're on X, Twitter, we're on Facebook. We appreciate every like and follow. It really, We are a fan podcast, a fan made podcast sponsored by myself. So we don't really have anything like any big corporations behind us or doing anything crazy like that. So we appreciate all the views out there. But yeah, don't forget you can find our actual audio podcast anywhere you can usually get podcasts: Apple, Google, Spotify, anywhere like that. But yeah, as Kevin said, we will be back here next week, Sunday, July 13th at 7 p.m. Eastern. And that might be a little different because it's next week that you're going to be on your trip.
Yeah, so under normal circumstances, you are in Ohio, I'm in Illinois, and so that means you're in the Eastern time zone and I'm in the Central time zone, and the Central time zone is 1 hour behind the Eastern time zone. So 99% of the time when we do a show, it starts at 7 o'clock your time, Hefty Duck, and starts at 6 o'clock my time.
Go ahead.
But next week's going to be different because I got tickets to 2 Reds games. So I'm going to be in Cincinnati to go see the Reds play. And next Sunday, I will be in Cincinnati, and I will have been, by the time we're doing the show, I will be back in my hotel and doing the show at 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern time.
That'll be fun.
So Hefty Duck and I will be in the same time zone. We've done this before. We've done shows before where I'm in Columbus and he's in the Amish country where he lives in Ohio, and we've been in the same time zone. We've done that before, and we're doing it again. This time it'll be hotel north of Cincinnati because I got tickets to the Reds games, and we'll be doing a show in the same time zone next week.
Yeah. And if anyone's wondering, that's actually why, obviously we do an Ohio kind of based podcast, but this is why we always say Eastern time, Eastern time zone, is just because we do have fans from all over. Well, I don't even know if I can say fans, but we at least know that you're viewers. I appreciate you guys viewing the show, even if you're hate watching. Love you. But yeah, that's why we always do that for you. But anyway, in any case, we'll be back here then. Between now and then, keep an eye out on our social medias for any fun posts. We like our hot takes sometimes. I like arguing with people online, so it's great. But anyway, thank you for once again joining us for another Brew Jackets episode. We will see you here in 1 week from today. Have a good one, y'all. See ya.